Say hello to Demisha Hicks. 6 months ago, she was convicted of following 5 old white women home from the grocery store. And when they got out of their car with their groceries, she would rush them, assault them, get into their house, beat the hell out of them. She threw one little old lady down some stairs. She'd rob them. 6 months ago, a judge in Louisville didn't think that was a very good idea, so he sent her to 20 years in prison, which basically means you'd get out in less than 10. Now meet this guy, Brian Edwards. He's a judge. Before he was a judge, he was a director of this group called... Here we go. The Center for the Study of Crime and Justice in Black Communities at the University of Louisville, which means black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere. That explains everything, especially why cops are always picking on black people for no reason whatsoever, and especially why prosecutors pick on black people, juries pick on black people, judges pick on black people, parole boards pick on black people. And when they let black people out of prison, the cops started all over again by picking on black people again. That's what that group is about. That's where he was before he was a judge. So let's see how these two paths have crossed.
This woman preyed on the elderly, stalked them at grocery stores, followed them home only to attack and rob them when they couldn't get help. Today we explain why she might get out of prison 6 months into a 20-year sentence.
And I made some very stupid decisions.
But the decision Demisha Hicks made in court Tuesday might set her free. An apology and admission asking for shock probation.
I have changed and I have reformed. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to prove that I'm a different person.
Hicks saying she's a different person than the one who attacked Donna Wood in 2013.
She was right on me but I couldn't do anything because I don't walk too steady.
We first met the 82-year-old at the time of Hicks' arrest. Her arm was in a sling from fighting Hicks for her purse.
She fractured it when she threw me from the steps to the basket out in the yard.
There are at least 5 victims with similar stories, all elderly, yet Hicks has reason to hope.
If she fails, there'll be a significant price to pay.
Prosecutors are not fighting her early release. It was part of the plea deal when Hicks confessed to robbery and using a stolen credit card.
Taking everything into account, we thought that was a just resolution. She has that 20-year sentence over her head.
Prosecutors cut Hicks a break because this is her first offense. They say she was a single mother, homeless, and desperate.
And I do take full responsibility for my actions, and I want to sincerely apologize.
Wood's family went to the hearing on her behalf. They say the now 85-year-old woman still suffers physically and mentally from the crime.
You do the crime, you do the time. What message are we sending to people just because it's their first offense and saying 6 months if you say you're sorry is okay?
Whatever the outcome, there will be a shock at the end of this shock probation. The judge now deciding, will it be for the prisoner hoping for freedom?
I realize that my decisions have affected a lot of people.
For the senior citizens, she hurt.
I hope they put her under the jail.
A second chance for a Louisville woman who attacked and robbed the elderly. Demisha Hicks is getting out of prison 6 months into a 20-year sentence. Hicks looked for senior citizens at grocery stores, followed them home, and robbed them, sometimes violently. This morning, we've learned Judge Brian Edwards granted her shock probation after a hearing earlier in the week. Attorneys say Hicks was a single mother, homeless, and desperate, and this was her first arrest. She must report to 7 counties daily to transition back into the community.
Couple of things. One, they kept using the term shock probation. That's where you sentence somebody to a long-term deal. And then you come back like they did here 6 months later and go, well, I hope I've shocked you back into reality. And then you let them out, as long as they promise to go ahead and be good little boys and girls. That's what happened here. 2, all the victims were white. They were old white women. The judge is black. Obviously, the predator / defendant is black. This is the second weird black judge we've had a run-in with in the last year. Do you guys remember just a few months ago, really, maybe a little bit more than that, in 2015, where a black judge admonished a 3-year-old child for racism? A young white family with a small child was the victim of a really nasty home invasion robbery. So on the victim impact statements, the mom writes in going, "My child, my little girl, is now afraid of black people." The judge got this thing, and he went off on the family. He went off on the on the little girl. He put one of the home invaders in prison, let the other one go. So I don't know what's going on down there in Louisville. We do a lot of stuff in Louisville. I mean, we did, one of the first chapters in Don't Make the Black Kids Angry is about Louisville. Large-scale episodes of black mob violence in Louisville, downtown, rampaging through downtown, hundreds of black people, beating the hell out of a grandfather in front of his wife and his grandchildren, pulling people out of their cars with 5 children left in the van, and knocking out the boyfriend, hurting the mom real bad. On and on and on. And they went to one of the storekeepers down there. He goes, "Yeah, this happens a lot." And of course, the public officials and the reporters were in complete denial. They pretended like this didn't really happen in Louisville that much. We do a lot of videos about black on senior violence all over the country. And they all play out, at least the crime part, play out like this. Some kind of some kind of shock attack, surprise attack, violence, threats. These are episodes that change the victim's life forever. We keep a lot of, I don't know how many dozens I have now, but there's quite a few episodes of black on old person violence. And now this judge comes along and says, well, that's not that big of a deal as we all thought it was. So this is a big deal, but I guess a lot of people haven't gotten the message yet. That's why we're doing these videos. That's why I wrote Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. That's why I want you to share, like, subscribe. Put this on your Twitter. Put this on your Facebook. Get Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. Give it to your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, your grandmother who's living alone in a place maybe that used to be nice but now is kind of sketchy. Now listen to me. I'm using euphemisms. If they live near a black neighborhood, they're a target. That's what happened to this old lady. And the best we can do is find judges that are just going to declare this predator a victim because he felt sorry for her. Okay. Well, in that case, I guess you better really listen to my advice if that's the way it's going to be down in Louisville. So if you're down there visiting your mom or dad or grandmother or something, you please tell them this from me. Don't make the black kids angry.